When should you set up your LLC for tax lien and tax deed investing? So, this is an important question that comes up a lot. And a lot of folks actually get paralysis by analysis on this. They put off tax lien and deed investing. It's like, oh, I got to wait till I get my LLC. And they really make a mountain out of a molehill here, in my opinion. And there are a few situations where maybe it is a bit of a mountain, but I will chat about that here in today's video. So, let's go ahead and dive into this. So when you're starting off as a tax lien and a tax deed investor, for most folks, odds are you haven't done a real estate deal yet. And with that, maybe the only deal that you've done is like your own home or your own property, right? So for the average person, an LLC is kind of a big deal to them. And if you've set up LLCs before and you're an expert real estate investor, maybe this video isn't for you. But I do doubt that you have a lot of experience with tax liens and deeds. Now, I need to do the classic disclaimer that I'm not an attorney, and neither am I giving any legal advice or anything like that. I'm just talking about what I've learned to date. And the thing with setting up LLCs and things like that is, first off, it's always going to be customized to you and your situation. So, for example, like, where do you live? What's your goals? Where do you want to go with this? Asset protection, maybe you're maybe you're getting divorced, or maybe you're about to get married, or maybe you're dying, right? We talk to people who sometimes, sadly, well, depends how you look at it, but some people come into tax liens and deeds and maybe they have a terminal illness and they want to get their legacy set up for their family and have their affairs in order. So that is a very honorable thing to be able to do. So if you like learning about tax liens and deeds, this is the place to do it. Go ahead, subscribe. Everybody that subscribes, I always give away the best course on tax liens and deeds, the ABCs of tax liens and deeds. I used to sell this. It's for free. So go ahead, subscribe. And for anyone that subscribes, I also give the 100 tax lien and deed facts that you must know as well. There is a link below in the bio. Just click more info. You can grab that and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on vital tax lien information that can save your financial boat from sinking. It's a day of analogies here today. So when getting started, should you have an LLC? So let's talk about, the average person, right? The average person, the first thing, in my opinion, you need to do is to get started, to learn the business and start buying some liens or start buying some deeds, start buying some properties. That's the most important thing, to get some experience under your belt. Okay. And then from there, it's really easy to actually set up the LLC and then transfer things into it. But what I recommend for most people is to just get started. Like when I started as a sole proprietor in the business. And that's how many of you will start as well, as a sole proprietor. Then from there, once you start getting some properties, you can transfer that over. Now, what are some situations where maybe you haven't done real estate, but an LLC could make sense? Well, maybe you're already extremely wealthy. Maybe you have a whole bunch of assets in your personal name. And then in that situation, you're probably not making the best choices to begin with, because you're extremely liable and you'd be a nice, juicy T-bone steak for an attorney if someone were to slip on the property or, break into your house and hurt themselves. There's some terrible stories of that stuff going on these days. But that is kind of a good starting principle to guide yourself on. Just get started. And then from there, you can get the LLC. And the nice thing with the LLC is then you can start to do things like optimizing yourself for all of the tax benefits that come from an LLC. You can keep the money in the LLC so that you can roll it over into the next deal and then keep it into the business, because as you know, you get taxed when you take the money out of the business. So with that being said, where should you set up? So once again, there's a few places like Nevada, Florida, Wyoming have very low state tax on their LLCs. They have good privacy policies. So when you're getting into the LLCs, let's just talk about some simple things that you're going to need to do. So first off, choose a name for your LLC. The name doesn't matter. Don't overthink it too much at all. One of my LLCs was literally the name of a dirt bike that I used to have. I was kind of put on the spot. And what's funny is when I was starting the company, I remember I didn't even have like a business name. And I was on the phone actually setting up an account, and the person's like, "What's the business name?" And I didn't have one, and I just saw a thing on the wall. It was like this guy's name, International. So I said, "Oh, my company's Dustin Hahn International," and away we go. And that was DHI International was born in that moment. So don't overthink it. Now, if you are in the real estate game, a little bit of a recommendation could be though is, if you're going to be buying and flipping property, you can't go wrong with the classic like buy houses, especially if you're going to want to like maybe flip some of these properties like before an auction, things like that, maybe do some wholesaling. It helps a lot, if Dave buys houses or Deborah buys houses is good. Because here's the thing, if you're going to do a pre-auction deal, people like to deal with people, meaning, like a lot of people come up with like fancy names like Diamond Enterprises or Triple Platinum Properties, and it's like, think about a distressed homeowner. Who would they rather deal with? Dave buys houses or triple platinum properties. They want to deal with a real person, and that's actually what we've found is we've tested it, and just simple name buys houses gets the best results. So yeah, choose a name. You can use services like LegalZoom. You can set it up super quick there. You can get an operating agreement. From there, you'll just go online. You'll get an EIN, which will be used to set up your bank account. You'll be in good shape, and then register for the state taxes, depending on where in which state you're going to set up. And for those of you guys just tuning in, make sure to subscribe if you like this stuff. Thumbs up, ask a question below. If you want some help with this, we're always here to help. You can book a free call with us and we'll build you a custom blueprint for investing and probably save you 3 to 5 years of trial and error in this business is the name of the game of what we do. And yeah, I also added the 100 tax lien and deed facts that you can go through and read. These are the most common questions, and all of that is for free in the link below. Nothing to sell, just pure value to our tax lien and deed investing community, which is growing. And it's so awesome to see people taking the plunge into this non-conventional way of investing. And what I love about it is it's not mainstream, and it's never going to be mainstream because, like I've said many times before, in order for something to be mainstream, a lot of the times corporations get in there, like brokers, insurance companies, and things like that. Whereas with tax liens and deeds, it's straight with the county government, which is nice. So it's always going to be like that. And there's 3,300 counties. Half the states are lien states, half the states are deed states. Every county does things a little bit differently. So with that, you're never going to get like a straight answer on this business, and that's good because it keeps out a lot of people. And one of my philosophies is the easier information is to get, the more competitive it's going to be. That's why, for example, on Zillow, things are full price. The easier info is like PropStream or any of these sites you can go and sign up for where you can download a list in a minute, that's going to be competitive, right? Now, coming back to it, the LLC, once it's set up, you can register to bid in your LLC names. And I definitely recommend it once you get started and once you get going. So in summary, the most important thing to do and take away from this is to get started, get some deals, get some traction, and then worry about it. So I'm a big fan of just in time information versus just in case. You have most people who feel like they're accomplishing things doing just in case information. They're reading thousands of books, they're doing this and that. They want to have every situation handled in their head before it ever happens. Whereas you're way better off just to boom, go get the property. Like, oh shoot, I got this property. It's worth 100 grand. I bought it for 10. There's some equity here. Maybe now I'll go and get the LLC. So once again, you can ask maybe some local real estate investors who's a good attorney in the area. Like I mentioned, Florida, Wyoming, Nevada, places like that are pretty good places for LLCs with very low taxes, and you can do business pretty much anywhere in the US. And that is what I do. And yeah, so on that note, thanks a lot for watching. If you like these quick tips, go ahead, subscribe, thumbs up, and make sure to grab the free mini course below on demand. These are DVDs, but they're on demand now and super useful. Like 50,000 people have literally went through and have bought this thing. It was the best-selling tax lien book, but now I just give it away. Click the more info. I don't ship this stuff. It's only physical, and you have to click the more info button in the description to get it. And then there you'll also have the option to book a call. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Until tomorrow, we'll see you on the next one.